University Teaching Hospitals Reconstitution of Boards, etc. Act Amendment Bill 2026 HB 962. First reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleague, the second business of the day is presentation of House Bill standing in the name of Senate Leader on National Rice Production, Processing and Research Institute, Ibemo, Ekiti State. Establishment Bill 2026, HB 584. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the clerk of Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, National Rice Production, Processing and Research Institute, Ibemo, Ekiti State, Establishment Bill 2026, HB 584, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, National Rice Production, Processing and Research Institute, Ibemo, in Ekiti State, Establishment Bill 2026, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleague, the third business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of distinguished Senator Barau Jubril on National Security Enhancement Bill 2026 SB 1063. Mr. President, you will wish to invite the clerk of Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, National Security Enhancement Bill 2026, SB 1063, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, National Security Enhancement Bill 2026, SB 1063, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleague, the fourth business of the day is presentation of a bill standing in the name of distinguished Senator Barau Jubril on National Economic Recovery Bill 2026 SB 1064. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the clerk of Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, National Economic Recovery Bill 2026, SB 1064, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, National Economic Recovery Bill 2026, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, the first order of the day is the presentation and consideration of report of Committee on Foreign Affairs on the screening of Professor Abayomi Sunday Fashina for the appointment.
Senator Adaramodu, you may wish to approve the chair. Approach the chair. Senator Adaramodu. Senator Adaramodu, is this mic so bad? Yeah, approach the chair. Please continue.
The first order of the day is presentation and consideration of report of Committee on Foreign Affairs on the screening of Professor Abayomi Sunday Fashina for appointments as non-career ambassador High Commissioner of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Bako Lalong, who will be standing in for distinguished Senator Bello, Chairman of the committee, to move the motion for presentation and consideration of the report.
Yes. Distinguished Senator Lalong. You may wish to take the report on behalf of Senator Bello.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I've not read the report. Let me read. Oh, sorry. Mr. President, I beg to move to present the report earlier presented and stated in honor of Senator Sani Bello, who is also on official assignment as of now. So I move to present that report, standing in his name.
President of the Senate, the distinguished colleagues, I'm Senator Dike Plum. I represent Plateau Central. I rise to second the motion that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Foreign Affairs and on the confirmation of the nominee, Professor Abayomi, as a career ambassador. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, motion moved and seconded. Those who support that the Senate do receive this report for deliberation say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Senator Lalong, you may move forward and present your report. Distinguished brother, kindly summarize the report.
Once again, Mr. President, I am back to present the report. Mr. President, this was a screening of Professor Abayomi Sunday Fashina. Fashina was former Vice Chancellor. In the process of conducting the exercise, the screening, we also discovered that, yes, there were certain accusations against him, but specifically, those accusations were all clear. And I will go just one or two of the paragraphs in the findings to ensure that all those doubts were clear. That the committee, especially number 2, received petition against the nominee, as well as petition countering the petition against his nomination as ambassador of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. 4, that the accusation against Professor Fashina was investigated by competent authorities, including the University Governing Council and Nigerian police, who found the allegations false. That the nominee have been cleared by the Department of State Services, DSS. And 6, that the nominee have been cleared by the Nigerian police. Mr. President, with all these clearance, the nominee performed wonderfully well, especially his record of services within the university. And so, the committee had no doubt in making the following recommendation: that the Senate do confirm the nomination of Professor. What he was going to do there, we were even thinking that it should even be higher than that. So I so move, Mr. President. Thank you.
You move that it should be higher than that. Is there any person that has distinguished?
I'm aware and it's of public knowledge that this gentleman, Nigerian women, have drawn the attention of this Senate that the professor in question has been accused by 2 women, not just orally, and these issues are pending before different courts. And I think the general view is that nobody is saying he's guilty, he's presumed to be innocent until proven guilty. But as a matter of sensitivity, a man who faces cases like that, for the Senate to endorse him, we amount to being insensitive to the feelings of women. Because it's not just one woman, there are 2 women or different allegations. So I thought that in matters like this, it will be more prudent that we...
Mr. President, I'm a member of the committee, and we were all there. He was not there.
The papers were not presented before you?
No papers were presented before the committee, and Mr. President will disturb the proceedings of the guilty. Everybody here will come, when there is no judgment, an allegation cannot disturb the proceedings of this. And we asked for the court. Tomole was not in that meeting.
But you were there.
We gave him fair hearing. Thank you, Mr. President.
Noted. Senator Cyril Fasui.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Cyril Fasui. I'm from Ekiti North, to be precise. I want to implore this Senate to be very careful about this issue. Federal University of Technology, Ekiti, is in my constituency, and I know about this case. I also know the woman in question. The woman approached me and told me everything that happened. But this woman did not get judgment. There is nobody in Ekiti North that is not aware of this matter. If this man is given express clearance, I don't think it is going to be an issue that Ekiti, where he served as Vice Chancellor, will be very happy about. This is a very common issue in the entire Ekiti North, and I'm sure all over the country. And it's a very sensitive issue that we cannot just sweep under the carpet. If this Senate will oblige, we can put a call straight to the woman and let the committee on rules and business, let the committee on rules and business, let them investigate this case. That woman did not get justice, please, as far as that case was concerned in Ekiti.
Distinguished Senator Cyril Fasui.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy that you know the woman, and I'm also happy that the woman told you everything. The question is, where did she tell you everything? We have a committee in the Senate, and we gave the mandate of the Senate to the committee to go and investigate the nominee, and he found fit to recommend the nominee for clearance. And the committee has done its work. And not only did the committee do its work, the woman in question that you said we should put a call through, this is not we are not the panel investigating. So if you have the woman's phone number, step outside and phone her and answer the things you said about this professor. Were you dreaming? Because there was nothing before the committee, and you failed to even appear before the committee. So for me, I have a report in front of me, which is conclusive. The report says that the man is very articulate, overqualified, and should be cleared by the Senate. But the woman told you something else. So please, the Senate, DSP, but don't come to me. Go through the rules. Yes.
Mr. President.
Just a minute. Let him guide us.
Mr. President, you captured
what should be said in this kind of situation. He is not found guilty, he's just an accused. But then, we have a tradition in this Senate that whenever there is a candidate to be cleared for appointment, there must be a kind of agreement amongst the senators representing that particular candidate for clearance or for screening or to be confirmed for appointment. And this man happens to come from the state where the leader of the Senate comes from. Unfortunately, the leader is not here. I think going by tradition, we need to be very careful not to go against the culture and tradition of this August Senate. We need to try to a little bit stay action on this matter, allow the Senate leader to come, talk to them, and then have, an insight from their thinking before we go ahead. Otherwise, we'll be contravening the tradition of the Senate. Point of order. Point of order.
Your point of order is noted. However, please, Senator Mangunu, as a seasoned lawyer, the woman in question did not appear before the panel.
Okay.
And no document was given before the panel. So what we are doing here is hearsay.
Mr. President, my own contribution is on the ground of constitutional point of order. Mr. President, distinguished senators, my name is Mohammed Tahir Manguno. I represent Borno Senatorial District. Mr. President, the issue raised by Senator Oshumele to the effect that the man is being charged to court and therefore all proceedings should be halted is in contravention of Section 36, subsection 5 of the Constitution, which is the grand number of the land.
Please read.
Presumption of innocence. A man is presumed innocent until the contrary is proved. So we cannot, on the basis of an allegation that he has been charged to court, fail to perform our constitutional responsibility, because the Constitution is very clear and unequivocal in this type of matters. Presumption of innocence, Section 36, subsection 5.
Distinguished colleagues, Senator Mangunu, your point of order is upheld. David Senate President, do you think that your position is in line with the Constitution of Nigeria? No, don't go there.
SB, I wish to withdraw my earlier
submission
because I thought he's from Ekiti State. So he's not from Ekiti State, from Lagos State. So there's no any senator from Lagos that is objecting his nomination. And therefore, withdraw my submission and all the senators will get him approved.
But there is something you need to understand. Distinguished colleagues, we have a committee that we mandated to look into this matter, and the committee has done its work. Senator Ningi, Senator Ningi, just a minute, there is a point of order.
Thank you, Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues. My name is Mohammed Adamale, I represent Kebbi Central. Mr. President, point of order I want to raise is 52(5). Reference shall not be made to any matter on which a judicial decision is pending in such a way as it might, in the opinion of the President of the Senate,
prejudice the interests of the parties thereinto. Mr. President, this matter is before the competent court of jurisdiction.
There's no evidence.
Pardon?
It wasn't presented before the committee.
No, according to what has been said,
no.
The matter is before the court.
The committee chairman said that no paper relating to court was presented before it.
But based on what Senator Adams Oshomole said,
no, it's not based. That's why I said
pending case.
That's why I use the word
I
hearsay.
just want us to be careful. If this case is before the court of law,
no, they should
refrain from taking this.
You are not hearing me. I'm saying that the committee.
Actually, this matter is before the court.
The woman. Have you read the report? The petition is not before the court.
Let me make a legal submission.
Chief Whip. Mr. President, my name is Senator Abdul Ningi. First and foremost, Mr. President, this is a parliament. This is a parliament with a committee system. When this matter was brought before the Senate, it was referred to a committee. And here we are. The committee has submitted its reports. The person who feels to be uncomfortable with the report is Cyril, who had signed. He is number 12.
He signed?
He had signed the report. He had signed the report. It is number 12. Secondly, Mr. President, please, my colleagues, this is the highest law-making chamber. We should not take undue advantage of our position as senators. This is a very sensitive matter that touches not only on the country. When a person comes before a committee, the committee doesn't go out of its constitutional jurisdiction or the Senate rules. The Senate rules and the Constitution permit the committee to evaluate your mental ability, your educational qualification, whether or not you be. The committee is not permitted to in the purview of the committee. So to bring this matter up for discussion, because this is terribly sensitive matter. President, these reports, any other thing can go to court.
Your submission is noted, Senator Nweboyi. There is no point going to DSP. It's not very important. Let me tell you why.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Let me. Sorry, Senator Nweboyi.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you why. DSP. We must not descend into the arena, and we must be very careful. Listen to what Senator Ningi said. Even the Constitution of Nigeria, as stated by Senator Monguno, shows that allegations are mere allegations until proven otherwise. So if you cannot destroy somebody's career, a professor of note, because there was an allegation that had not been proven up till now, and then Senator Cyril Fasuyi, you signed this report that this man is very articulate and this man is wonderful. Then you now said that you spoke with the woman. So why didn't you tell the woman to come to the committee?
Thank you, Mr. President. I think I should have the floor. DSP, take your seat. DSP, take your seat. Take your seats and let me have the floor.
President, no matter how this be.
Distinguished colleagues, distinguished colleagues, please, distinguished colleagues, they did not present any paper. Listen, look at page 5 of our report. Look at page 5 of our report. Can you look at page 5 of our report? We are senators, and we have a body of senators that investigated this man and did the clearance. Page findings 64, that the accusation against Professor Fashina was investigated by competent authorities, including the University Governing Council and the Nigerian Police, and they both found the allegations to be false. This is a report. This means, colleagues, those in support that this man, Senate leader, please move a motion for us to go to committee of the whole to continue with the report.
Mr. President, I stand to move a motion that we resolve into committee of whole to consider the report. I so move. Oh yeah. That supports committee of. Mr. President, I second the motion that we move to committee of the whole to consider the matter in hand. Thank you.
To continue Distinguished colleagues, can we please be seated? Distinguished colleagues, having noted that Siri Fasui is not from the same state with the nominee, and that he said that his knowledge is from talking to the woman. We don't know where, whether in the market or in the classroom or through phone. And yet the woman had an opportunity to appear before the panel set up by the Nigerian Senate, the committee of the Senate. But see, to make matters worse, Senator Ningi observed that even when you are claiming that the woman is the person in question is from your state, you have been proven wrong by the Deputy Senate President that the nominee is from Lagos, not from Ekiti. And then further, that you even signed the report saying that listen, a senator should have integrity. A senator should have integrity. We must depend on our committees to do our work here. If the committee has done a fantastic job and there was no report, and here the committee put it here that the police investigated this matter and found the allegation to be false. So who is talking about court? So you as were you a member of the committee? Oshimole, were you a member of the committee? So why don't you ask for police report? When it is presented before us, we depend on what our committee members present before us, and their signatures are here. I don't want Siri. This is not a place for you to withdraw your signature. But if you want to withdraw your signature, you have an opportunity. When we are going to consider the votes and proceedings on Tuesday, you come with an affidavit showing that you have withdrawn your signature. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Professor Abayomi Sunday Fashion for appointment as non-career ambassador to High Commissioner of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. I can count the voices. The ayes have it. Accordingly, the appointment and nomination of Professor Fashion is hereby approved. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. Senate President sitting as chair, I stand to move a motion that we revert to Committee of Whole.
That we do revert to plenary for the chair to report progress. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. We revert to plenary to report progress. If you have another evidence, we have a petition before us. We can look into it if it's not AI. But in the meantime, my colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole, consider the report of the Committee on Foreign Affairs on the screening of Mr. President nominee for appointment as a non-career ambassador to High Commissioner of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and approved the nomination of Professor Abayomi Sunday Fashion as a non-career ambassador to High Commissioner of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Please, every other thing should be taken as comic relief. It's not part of the proceedings of today. Senator Ningi, I hope you understand. But we followed our, otherwise we'll be indicting ourselves. And even some of us that signed and came here to oppose, we are also trying to indict ourselves. A senator must be a senator, and we must be very senatorial. And a senator must have integrity. We cannot sign a report and come back and say we had a phone call. So. No problem. The ayes have it. Accordingly, the nomination of Professor Abayomi Sunday Fashion is hereby confirmed as non-career ambassador to High Commissioner of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. let me thank our committee on Foreign Affairs and the members, including Senator Fassi, for doing a good job of ensuring the investigation of the Department of State Services. The University of Ado-Ekiti, from the committee, they did a good job. They were able to get the governing council of sexual harassment. Engineer Adebayo had made a statement that she was not sexually harassed. All documents relied on in the investigation by the committee were attached to the report, Nigerian Police Force report, audio tapes, their transcripts, correspondences by the Vice Chancellor and Engineer Adebayo, minutes of which the Vice Chancellor had no authority to do. Okay, so these so-called recordings that were found, this was because the man was elevated. Is it a woman? Huh? A woman, okay. I did this. I'm just giving you one document before me. I will not, and his fitness must be very careful how we rely on hearsay. Things are into our deliberations. So I thank you all for your cooperation, and I thank you for your submissions. I also thank you for the coming relief. So the Prof is cleared and ready for his job.
Mr. President, and very distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the second order of the day is a motion standing in the name of distinguished Senator Karimi Sunday Steve on the review of the internal procurement process of the National Assembly. Mr. President, we need to invite distinguished Senator Karimi Sunday Steve to move the motion.
Distinguished Senator Karimi Sunday.
Thank you, Mr. President, my colleagues. My name is Karimi Sunday Steve. I represent the people of Kogi West. My colleagues, I hereby move a motion for the review of the internal procurement process of the National Assembly. The Senate notes that the National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, comprising the Senate and the House of Representatives together with its affiliative arm of the Federal Government of Nigeria. The Senate also knows that Section 81(3) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended guarantee the independence of the National Assembly and provides for the funding of the National Assembly through the first line charge on the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation. The Senate further notes that Section 51 of the Constitution empowers each house of the National Assembly to regulate its own procedure and internal administration in furtherance of the constitutional principle of separation of powers and parliamentary autonomy. The Senate reiterates that it is necessary to strengthen arm of government. Accordingly, the Senate resolves that to reaffirm the constitutional principle of parliament autonomy and the authority of the National Assembly to regulate its internal administration and financial affairs in accordance with the National Assembly be established to consider, evaluate, and approve procurement matters and contract award within approved budgetary. The Senate also urge that the internal tender board exercise its function on behalf of the National Assembly management within the limit of approved appropriations
and in accordance with the extant financial policies and regulations applicable to the National Assembly. 4. We urge that all procurement activities undertaken by the National Assembly be conducted in accordance with the principles of transparency, competitiveness, value for money, accountability, and due process, consistent with the Constitution and other applicable laws of the Internal Tender Board. Also mandate the clerk to the National Assembly to ensure. And 7.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, this motion is long of our democratic experience to do away where there is going to be concern is in order to jealously guard and protect our powers. There is a need to pass this motion so that the independence of the legislature, the single senators,
but the chief whip will be talking about due process, transparency in our operations in the National Assembly. Budget, and who scrutinizes that budget? To whom or to which committee does the National Assembly submit its budget? Mr. President, it is important for us to have clarity on this point. Mr. President,
I don't want you to come and then later you forget that you approached me. No, don't approach me yet. Let's go to the prayers. Prayer 1. Reaffirm the constitutional principle of parliamentary autonomy and the authority of the National Assembly to regulate its internal administrative and financial affairs in accordance with the Constitution. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 2. Urge that an internal tender board of the National Assembly be established to consider, evaluate, and approve procurement matters. Crisis is function.
The issue of the problems that we have in the National Assembly regarding the management of finances and the budget do not just solely lie in the process of procurement. The problem has been that the National Assembly has not set up a budget and research office. I knew there had been legislations over several assemblies that has been presented here so that we can be able to interrogate and understand the lines of the independent of the National Assembly has been guaranteed by the Constitution. But what is happening is that we in the National Assembly are not doing what is right, because we have not been subjecting budgetary procedure. The issue of award of contract is not even the issue. That body that is advocating, yes, it should be done so that we know what is happening. So we are, with all the due respect,
to work with the management of both chambers, the House of Representatives and the Senate, to understand what he is, Senator Tambuwa, as on what you are coming up with. But talking about the internal tender board and all that, should this be in the public? If you discuss with me, I will not be opposed. I'm not opposed to the motion, but I'm opposed to the content of the prayers.
okay. za mu kowane kwamiti a sami shi wani.
Point of order.
HB 1605 and the environmental health. Mr. President, with your permission, the Abia State. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, these bills are straightforward and they have successfully passed through all the requisite legislative stages in the House of Representatives and have been duly scrutinized and cleared by the ad hoc Committee on Compliance with Orders and support the second reading of these bills. You have the floor. You have the floor. Well, since there's no anyone that wants to make any comment, let me now let me now put the question. Those in favor that this bill be read the second time, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk will send it.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center, Ikuano, Abia State, and for related matters 2026, HB 1605, second reading, Balance of Health, by ensuring development, essential activities for the improvement of healthy living in Nigeria.
Bill
for the Act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center 05, second reading taken. 2. A bill for an act to provide for the protection, promotion, work, physical development, essential services for the protection of the environment to safeguard Leader of the Senate.
And very distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate now proceed to a committee of the whole for further consideration of these bills. I so move.
The Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I second the motion as moved by the leader that the Senate move to committee of whole to consider the report. I so second.
In favor, verses 1 to 3 of this bill stand pass of this bill. Those in favor say aye. Those against it. Those in favor say aye. The non-title of those in favor that clauses 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 51, the explanatory memorandum on page 54, the non-title on page 1, all stand pass of this bill. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The Leader of the Senate, can you please move that this August Committee of the Whole revert back to plenary to report progress.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, very distinguished colleagues, I read
The plenary to report progress. The report. The Senate in the 6th. Non-title. The Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the Environmental Health Control Bill 2026 and approved as follows. Number of clauses. Clause 1 to 101 as recommended. Interpretation. The Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the bills be now read the third time. I so move.
The Managed Leader.
5. Third reading. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to provide for the protection, promotion, and maintenance of health by ensuring environmental health improvements in matters relating to housing, food, recreation, work, physical development, essential services for the protection of the environment, to safeguard human health, and for the control of services, activities for the improvement of healthy living in Nigeria, guaranteed through effective coordination of regulatory, administrative, scientific, research, technological frameworks, and control for efficiency, effectiveness, impactful, result-oriented, and sustainable delivery, and for related matters 2026, HB 1265, third reading.
A bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center Ikuano, Abia State, and for related matters to provide for protection, promotion, and maintenance of health by ensuring environmental health improvement, administrative, scientific, research, technological frameworks,
and control for efficiency, effectiveness, impactful, result-oriented, and sustainable delivery on political matters. The leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, the last order of the day, which is the fifth order of the day, is actually as contained on the supplementary order paper before us, and is being brought pursuant to Order 1B of our rules, as well as Order 52(6) of our rules. And you have it in front of you. You don't let them give you one. On the Proceeds of Crime Act Amendment Bill 2026. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Senate session held on certain substantive drafting, legal, and policy issues requiring further legislative identified issues are fundamental to the effective implementation of the proposed intended legal and operational commitment to enacting sound. Being convinced, Chamber, the opportunity to in asset recovery, proceeds of crime management, and Nigeria's constitutional and legal framework. Senate 2026 as amended accordingly resolves to receive it to allow for refinement and proper scrutiny. I so move, Mr. President.
Well, the former Senate leader, you are right to have questioned the reason why. You'll be to have, change.
Clarification, sir. If it was not on the supplement,
Mr. President, I rise to. I'm Yahya Abdullahi representing Kebbi North. I rise to second the motion of the distinguished leader of the Senate, I rise to second the motion raised by the distinguished leader of the Senate requesting for rescission of the approval of the Senate of the Proceeds of Crime Amendment Bill 2026. And the issues that he has raised, given the reasons for asking the Senate to do the rescission, to me are in order, because they are about matters of overriding public interest and the need for us to bring back the bill so that we can address and reconsider certain provisions of the bill so that the legislation conforms with international best practices in asset recovery, proceeds of crime management, and Nigerian constitutional and legal framework. I want to congratulate the leader of the Senate for this decision and for the kind of scrutiny he wants to undertake. He wants us to undertake. My only request, Mr. President, is to know, after we have now brought back this, where or which committee or which office of the National Assembly is going to undertake the task that is suggested. Are we returning the legislation back to the committee that brought the legislation, or are we taking it to our legal office for those amendments to be made? We want to be very, very clear whether it is going to the committee or whether it's going to our legal office, so that those areas, those areas requiring, fresh scrutiny, are considered. Is it going to the committee or is it going to the legal office? I want I want some clarity, on that particular issue, Mr. President. Thank you. DSP.
Well, let me commend the leader for the fact that you observed that there are some drafting errors where we can make have gotten to us in passing our bills. We are human, and errors could come in at any time. And once those errors, this bill is all about. This motion is all about. And it's good that we got the necessary information as to the problems inherent in the bill we passed. And by coming out without delay in making sure that we right the wrongs, instead of allowing the bill to be passed into law before getting to know about these problems, I think it's something that we should commend the leadership, the leader of the Senate for his diligence. He has shown uncommon diligence in getting this matter brought forth for our decision. So without much ado, and also taking cognizance, factoring what Senator Abdullahi said, we should, with the speed of light, as always said by the chief whip, get this matter passed so that the right thing can be done. There's not much for much debate. It's very direct. It speaks for itself, as lawyers will say. Well, I will not be able to say that without much ado. Let's should be incorporated in bringing about the harmony, so that when it was passed, so that at the end of the day we enjoy it, but include the sheep.
Who was the sponsor?
Mr. President, sir, I have
on the other paper, rescission of the Proceeds of Crime Amendment Bill. It can always be represented, but right now we are rescinding this. It's not as if it cannot be brought back when it has been worked on. But this was not the clerk of the Senate. After all arguments of Crime Bill 2026, Leader of the Senate.
In a closed-door session, based on certain developments that to me make it cogent and compelling for us to hold a closed-door session, I therefore
order the motion.
Mr. President, I want to refer to section 62 of the Constitution. The Senate or the House of Representatives may appoint a committee of its members for such special or general purpose as in its opinion will be better regulated and managed by means of such a committee, and may by resolution, regulation, or otherwise as it thinks fit, delegate any functions exercisable by it to any such committee. The member of the committee appointed. Nothing in this section shall be construed to law or to determine any matter which it is. But these committees shall only have powers as enshrined here to bring
well guided, and your point of order is sustained. Yes, Minority Leader. Thank you, Mr. By the Minority Leader. That the ayes have it.